All right. It's your stomach done.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It won't be picked
Special
up.
guest.
It'll be fine.
Special guest star. Stomach. Yeah. Just doesn't like anything. Just moans. Hello and welcome to episode 47 of Things We Play. It's Tuesday the 11th of December. My name's Mike Goldman and I am joined by Sean Hart.
Hello.
And Joe Tanetta.
Hello.
And today, things are a little bit different. Today, we're going to talk about the best games of the year. It's our Game of the Year episode. We're going to discuss, what is just categorically the best game that came out this year across a wide range of categories. From, let's face it, the things you definitely need to know to the things you maybe don't
Really need to know.
Not
that important.
much. Yeah, I don't know. So we're gonna do that. So slightly different show. No Independence Play this week. Break in the middle, and classic fun time stuff. But before we get started, it's the 11th of December. The whole week's passed, Joe.
It has.
You know what that means?
What does it mean?
It means how was your week?
My week was good. It wasn't actually. That was a complete lie. My week was very terrible.
Why was your week so terrible? Cheer the listeners up at home with your week being terrible.
I was ill this week.
You were ill.
I was.
Yeah.
I was.
Bad ill. What sort of ill are we talking here? I mean, we talking, slight vomiting or cancer?
I have a bad foot, and
Bad
I don't know what the cause is just yet.
Okay.
I am waiting to find out.
But you're walking.
I am walking. I have been for the last few days.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the problem.
For me walking.
Yeah.
It was fine for 6 months.
Okay. All right. Maybe it's not that then. All right. Well, that sucks.
It does indeed.
Has
yeah.
anything positive happened in your week apart from this illness and the problem with the foot?
Not particularly. No.
No. Sounds like you've been dealt some pretty shitty cards.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah.
But it'll be good.
Karma, probably, Joe. Yeah, ultimately, it's probably what it was. You probably had it coming. What did you do?
Kicked puppy.
Did you kick a puppy, Joe?
Just a little bit.
Do you think
Don't
it's
deny
funny?
it.
Do you think it's funny kicking puppies?
Haven't been near a puppy in ages.
Do they not let you near puppies anymore?
No, I just don't know anyone who
Why
has
have you
a
not
puppy.
been near a puppy? It's weird. That's weird.
Just haven't seen a puppy.
Avoiding puppies.
No, not avoiding them, just haven't seen any.
Haven't seen any because they're cowering behind the bushes. All right, fair enough. How about you, Sean? How's your week been?
Yeah, not too bad. Uneventful.
Uneventful?
Yeah.
Even with the Christmas rush?
I've started Christmas shopping.
Yeah, you got to.
But I wasn't rushing.
Stuff doesn't run out anymore in shops in Christmas, does it?
Well, I think it's a bit early in the month.
Yeah, no, I don't mean
days before.
yeah, it's not gonna happen now. But like, I just feel like a long time ago that the shops used to just be bare for just there was no stock at all, and now that doesn't seem to happen.
I think logistics may be slightly better within retailers.
So you've not been up to much.
Not a vast amount.
Christmas
no.
decorations are up.
Yeah, they are.
Mine are up.
Mine are up.
Yours are up.
Yeah, mine are up.
They did them. They look
They
good.
are. I've seen Joe's
Yeah,
decorations.
They are there.
Do they look good?
Yeah, they look good. They look fine. I don't know. I didn't do
Has it changed your mood, your spirit?
No.
Raised your hopes?
Still not
Given you
looking forward
the
to
extra
Christmas.
burst of energy you need to carry on just living for a few more weeks?
Just in
You're not
case
gonna
you get
give up
that,
now?
that transformer you wanted for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright, okay, fair enough. We don't get too personal. Yeah, cool. Yeah, my Christmas decorations up. I quite like it actually. I was like, oh, Christmas tree. Yeah, I wasn't that enthusiastic about it, and then building it was a nightmare.
Right.
And then it was like, yeah, kind of like it. Although I went out last night and it was really weird, and I was out for quite a long time, like from all evening. And I came back, and I walked into the living room, and I was like, this is weird. There's like lights on, and the Christmas tree lights were on. Just no one in the house. No, not terrible things. We discussed this earlier, Sean.
Yeah.
Christmas trees don't burst into flames, do they?
No, I don't think they do it
literally
anymore.
only in like fire brigade instructional videos.
Right. Or
Um,
I don't think it's happened since 1982. I
yeah,
think that was the last
so-
recorded spontaneous combustion of a Christmas tree.
Yeah, so I wasn't too worried about the Christmas tree, but I'd left it on for like 6 hours with no one in the house. And then I also looked around, there were 2 candles burning. That had also just made it.
That's slightly more concerning, yeah.
And really, like, I don't know how that happened. I was obviously, distracted or something, but mental. So yeah, I'm going to leave a post-it note on the door that says, "Yo,
switch
candles,
off,
man.
Switch off all candles.
Turn off
leaving.
the candles and blow out the Christmas tree." So yeah, that's kind of nice. I've not done any Christmas shopping.
You should probably get on it at some point.
Yeah, but it's too much happens this month. There's too many birthdays, loads of birthdays.
Yeah, your birthday lineup is insane.
And so Christmas cannot start for me yet. My brain can't handle it at the moment. It's just like it's my daughter's birthday, it's my birthday, brother's birthday. It's just so many, and it's too confusing. I hate it. I did get a Christmas card yesterday, first Christmas card from the people upstairs.
Yeah, it wasn't for me.
Which isn't a Christmas card that anyone really like. They don't actually care about me, do they? They're just like, we live upstairs. Better put a Christmas card upstairs.
Have you written their one yet?
No, but I will. Nice to have a Christmas card. Don't know where to put them. Don't want more than one because I haven't got the space. So simple as that.
You have to do the thing with the thread and
no,
bangling.
That's it. Not good. Looks horrible. Looks horrible. So why would you want to like? Why around this time of the year do people decorate their living rooms with like bits of card with writing on?
Because it's easier than having them on mantelpieces getting in the way when you're reaching for a book or a DVD.
It's just impractical. Some people have hundreds.
Yeah, they're popular.
Yeah. Well, you're better off just putting like a guest book at the beginning of the front of your house. Just sign it when you come in.
Just hang a yellow pages on the wall.
Yeah. Surely Facebook's
just
got to
write
get rid
happy
of this
birthday,
stuff, right?
happy Christmas next to your name.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts. All right, well, should we just do some Game of the Year stuff? It's all everyone wants. No.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Right,
Cool.
well. The Things We Play of the Year Awards 2012. Okay, yeah. So the way we're going to handle this, just to explain to people listening, is we've got a whole bunch of categories for which we're going to put games forward for. The 3 of us have all got our individual answers to each one of these categories. We do not know what each other's are. Then during the show, we will argue it out, I guess, to find out which is the winner of each category. So, there may be instances where we all come up with the same game, but who knows? We don't know. So this is as much of an adventure for us as it is for you at home. Yeah, so let's do it. I'll have a look now on my category list and find out. We were going to put these in some sort of order. We haven't, so I'm just going to pick categories out, and we'll see what comes up. We'll start with Best New IP. Best New IP for 2012. Joe, what do you think was the best new IP for this year?
I put down Lollipop Chainsaw.
Lollipop Chainsaw, yeah. So it's good enough answer. I quite like that. I enjoyed Lollipop Chainsaw. What about you, Sean?
Dishonored.
Okay, another very different game, right?
Yes.
And I have Sleeping Dogs.
Interesting.
So
put your points forward.
Yeah,
that's what we've got to do.
Yeah, Sleeping Dogs though, isn't it? Right? Sleeping Dogs was the best new IP.
I don't know.
It's arguable. Is it actually a new IP?
It's
built off the back of something else.
True crime, yeah, but it's not. It wasn't true crime. It was reinvented, right? It's the adventures of Wei Shen or whatever his name is.
Yeah, that's right.
And,
Wei Shen.
And his rocking time in Hong Kong. It's new. It's a fresh franchise I want to see continue, and
Certainly.
I think we will see continue. And it was cool. It was also really good. It was a really good game. That hands down is like the best new IP for me. Lollipop Chainsaw was good.
Lollipop, it was amazing. You even said it was awesome.
I love that. It was one of my favourite games. One of my favourite games of the year, and I'm sure it will come up. It does come up in some of my answers later on. But was it the best new IP?
It's the one of them that I enjoyed the most.
Okay. More than Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah, Sleeping Dogs was good. I never finished it. I never played it as much.
And more
as you
than
two,
Dishonored, because Dishonored was obviously really good.
It was. For a start, the style of it is just fantastic.
Yeah, I'll give you
and
that.
It's immersive. The dialogue is delivered well. It's a good game, man, all round. And I'm psyched to find out that they're getting sequels for it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's strong. I think Dishonored is definitely good. I think one of the things I was thinking about is, okay, so all of these games are really strong games, but how have they been executing stuff? With Dishonored, I got the impression it was sort of like, yeah, Dishonored's good, but what we really want is Dishonored 2. Like, Dishonored 2 should be awesome, right? But then, I guess you could say similar stuff for Sleeping Dogs. It didn't nail everything perfectly.
Yeah.
It needs refining in some, it was quite short, quite condensed, and some of that was a bit off. So, that may be the best version of Sleeping Dogs is yet to come, and the best version of Dishonored is yet to come. Lollipop Chainsaw, again, I don't feel like there was anything that it would have improved upon by doing anything. It was just kind of, that was it. It completely nailed what it set out to be perfectly. And I really did like Lollipop Chainsaw.
It was okay at best. That was my best. Well, what I walked away from it with was it was okay. It was
but you're
better
not a
than I
fan.
was
You're not a
expecting.
fan of those games, though, are you? You're not a fan of like combo juggling,
Not really.
things like that. But yeah, no, it was good. It was funny. It was just so much fun. It had a few little bits, still, Japanese sort of weirdness, I guess.
Yeah.
They're always having a button prompt to get on top of something and get off of something and stuff.
Yeah.
You didn't have much free control, which was a bit strange. But it was awesome and cool.
It just had a great little art style to it as well. Just the way it looked was just awesome.
I mean, I could see that I was not going to win this category.
Why? No, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because you've barely played Dishonored. He's played a bit of it, and I don't think he got on with it particularly well. Did you?
Yeah, it just didn't come across well to me.
But
It's a drag game.
Dishonored
It
is a far more interesting IP than Sleeping Dogs. I'll
Yes.
say that. Sleeping Dogs was a successful game that was executed well. That was cool and refreshing, new sort of take on the open world game by just by the setting alone and the focus on hand-to-hand combat, which was really cool. But as a just sort of a contemporary setting that's just interesting to be around, Dishonored was a lot more. It was kind of weird.
But it's more than that. I mean, I felt very few games compel me to play them through more than once. And this, I felt compelled to do it. I felt to go back and see how it plays out when you're not murdering literally everybody you come across.
Yeah,
if
sure.
you play it as stealth as possible and choose the alternate options for your targets, your ultimate targets, it plays out in quite a different way.
But then,
gives you different results.
Saying that, Sleeping Dogs was the first sort of open world game that I completely maxed out everything. Just there was nothing left to do, and I've never done that before in a game.
But is that because you felt compelled to do it, or just because there wasn't that much to do? It kind of gives you.
I think the
more
length
help
of it
than
had
most
I
open
think the
world
length
games,
of it
right?
had a part to do with that. I think it being a shorter game made that more accessible, but I still had to go and pursue stuff. I still had to put a lot of time in to do it. But yeah, maybe there is an element to it that was actually just being able to see the end meant I went for it.
Sure.
As opposed to in a bigger game where you're like, I'm never going to get that, so I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
They're all very different games, and Lollipop Chainsaw as well is very much. You're not going to spend as much time with Lollipop as you are either of the other two games.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I don't know. It's really tricky. I think Sleeping Dogs is worth a mention on there. I'm not sure if it is then in that case the best new IP because it is taking a lot from other stuff. And Dishonored brings a lot more genuine new stuff to it. The blink mechanic in Dishonored's awesome.
It is
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah.
And I do love all the sort of City 17, esque environments and stuff. That's all kind of cool. I think I'd be willing to go with Dishonored. I don't think Lollipop's the right one for it. I think it was good, but. And I'd love to see more of it. That's the worst part. I really did like the IP of Lollipop. I thought she was a cool character, and the humour in it was fucking brilliant.
It was amazing.
So I would like to see more of it. I just don't think I'm ever gonna.
Sure.
And the other two, I'm definitely gonna. But I would say probably Dishonored. It doesn't get a mention for me anywhere else. I didn't think it was perfect, but. Yeah, that's it was definitely interesting, in the same way that BioShock was interesting when that first came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, then what do we reckon? I'm keen then in that case to go with Dishonored.
Yeah, Dishonored. Yeah, I'll go with Dishonored.
Win to me.
There you go, Dishonored. So best new IP, Dishonored. All right, then next up, let's go for
Best re-release.
Best re-release. Okay, so for this category, we're going best re-release of 2012. This can be anything. This can be a reimagining of a game, of a same game, or just a straight up re-release of a game, or a port, or an HD collection, anything like that. Those all were eligible for this category. Okay, so best re-release. Joe, what do you have for this?
I went with Metal Gear Solid HD Collection.
Yeah. Okay. Sean.
Same as.
Same as. Interesting. I have gone for Double Dragon.
Interesting.
Neon.
Yeah.
That
You
is
know.
a very interesting choice.
So yeah, Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. Good. Why? Why do you think? Why is that your choice?
you got so much for your money for a start. It's packed to the rafters, that game. Oh, games. And Metal Gear Solid 2, man, it still looks fantastic. It's
Right.
a PlayStation 2 game, but it still looks... obviously, it's in HD, but the modelling of the characters, delivery of everything, it's Metal Gear.
So what were the collections like? Because I never picked it up. Did you guys pick it up? Was
Yeah,
it handled well? The games ran all right.
Yeah.
The ports were good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all perfectly streamlined. All worked perfectly.
Okay, I'm glad it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
So okay, but the one massive problem with this, which is the reason why it's not my choice,
Right.
Metal Gear Solid's not in it.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
It's like the only game you want, and it's the one that's not in there, right? Metal Gear Solid 2, yeah, it's okay. Metal Gear
Obviously-
Solid 3, people love, yeah.
It's murky waters. As
And
to
then
whether
where's
it was
Peace
in there or
Walker's
not.
in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And Peace
so
Walker's-
PSP game.
Yeah, but it's a damn good PSP game.
It's still, for me, not having Metal Gear Solid in there is a really big deal. That's the only game I want.
Yeah, I would have loved to have Metal Gear 1 in
And,
there.
and just the sheer logistics of it, of starting a series of games and starting on number 2.
Yeah, I understand your point.
That's
Certainly.
a real low blow, and you can't get one on Xbox at all anywhere.
No.
No.
I know it's tied up with all sorts of nonsense and things, and you can get Twin Snakes on GameCube and stuff, but I want one. One's the only one I want. None of the other games did I enjoy anywhere near as much as the first one. They've all been a lesser product than that first one.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. I would say that I've probably put in more time on 2 than I have in 1, even though 1 is my
Yeah,
favourite.
but
game.
that's because you were pumped off 1 when you went into 2, so you invested heavily in 2. That's why 2 hurt me so much, But it's the only one I that I want. It's the only one I'm interested in. So that sucks.
Okay.
This collection makes me sad. Also, I don't know if there's any issues with it. I think I haven't heard anything that was problematic, but obviously Konami were ruthless with their treatment of the Silent Hill collection,
Yeah.
HD collection,
Yeah.
which came out slightly afterwards, where they're just not patching it at all on the 360. It didn't sell enough copies, and they're like, "Fuck you, we're not fixing it."
Yeah.
So that makes me a bit wary of
Yeah,
this,
so-
because
yeah.
they'll be still making the decisions. Whereas Double Dragon, then, yeah, I know it's not like a straight up, it's a reimagining of Double Dragon, and it's nothing like Double Dragon.
Sure.
It's really not a lot like Double Dragon. That's kind of its worst point. But its best point is it's fucking awesome.
It is.
Like it was really,
It was
really,
really
really good.
good. It was.
I think it was a strong contender for like soundtrack of the year, with the music that's in it. But it was just great. It was a really nice stylized game that was funny. And if you invested time in it, I think you really got stuff out of it.
Yeah.
It was a good laugh. And that's a really difficult genre to get people to enjoy, just because
Yeah.
it's designed around pumping money into an arcade machine, right? So it just often feels sort of shallow and flat. And so that was really cool. And it was nice to see Double Dragon back. And I kind of really loved all the like 80s cheese and nonsense in it and the high fives and stuff. So that's my choice. Two of you went for Metal Gear. If you still think Metal Gear is the best re-release, then I'll have to concede to that. That's fine. But if not, and you think Double Dragon Neon is possibly it, then I'm just saying. All I'm saying is there's no Metal Gear Solid 1, right? There's no Metal Gear Solid 1 in the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. There's not.
I am willing to change my vote to Double Dragon. I did pump a lot of time into Double Dragon.
Yeah, it was cool.
I never played Double Dragon, but I am now outvoted, so...
All right, Double Dragon Neon then. Best, what was that? Best re-release.
Yeah.
Best re-release.
Best web series.
Best web series. Not technically game related, but I feel like there's been a lot of really decent web shows this year, and a lot of them featured around games as well. The quality's just gone through the roof for sort of YouTube crazy people, right, with loads of money and expensive cameras.
Yeah.
And sadly, certainly a decent degree of talent. So I thought we'd just have a look at those. Joe, what is your best web series of 2012?
I've gone with a classic that's recently just come back, which is The Guild.
The Guild. I never watched The Guild at all. That's Felicia Day, right?
Yeah.
And I've never really watched The Guild, and because I don't know. Yeah, I don't really like it. I don't really, and I've never really been into the fantasy bullshit, which is why The Guild has never got into me. But it's like Does it take? What's the guild like? Tell us about the guild.
Well, the guild follows the main character, which is played by Felicia Day, and she's addicted to a World of Warcraft rip-off. It's just called The Game. That's all it's called. And it's about her and a group of online friends that she plays with, and it's just they end up meeting up after a couple of episodes, and it's just about them playing the game, their experiences with new updates, things like that. And it is highly amusing. I like it. I've watched all of it so far, and I'm still watching it now.
Do you know how many episodes it's up to?
It's on its 6th season.
Right. So it's a fair amount of episodes.
Yeah, it has. It was sponsored by Microsoft.
It was on. It was on the dashboard, wasn't
Yeah.
it, for ages?
Yeah,
You could
it
watch
was.
the episodes
Yeah.
on there. Yeah, it's supposed to be quite good. I've just never got into it. All right, Sean, what have you got?
I went for Video Game High School.
Video Game High School. Yeah, the Freddie Wong's
Yeah, project.
thing with Rocket Jump. Yeah, it was cool.
It was awesome.
To me, it sort of tailed off a little bit, and I wasn't. There were bits I really liked about it, and then there were decisions that I was like, I don't like that. I wish I hadn't done that.
That's
But the
fair
game
enough.
stuff was really cool.
Yeah,
but some of it was too silly.
No, I mean, as a series, if you was doing it as a film, it wouldn't really hold together. But as a series, and they have announced season 2, right? They're doing the second season. I think it works fine. It's humorous, and he come up with some genius lines in there.
Yeah, there was some funny lines. I'll give you that. It was pretty cool. It just wasn't as good as I wanted it to be.
Sure.
Like it wasn't quite what I wanted it to be. But the principle was fucking amazing. The epic mealtime guy.
But I feel that's your failings as a person projecting onto Video Game High School.
What? What? How? What do you mean?
Because it's what you want it to be rather than just what it
Yeah.
is.
Well, no, I didn't enjoy it as a result. I thought it was going to be something else.
Sure.
You know? All right. Well, I've gone for Game Shop on this, which is the IGN sort of produced show about a bunch of guys running a video game shop, which hasn't been on very long. It's only on like 5th or 6th episode now.
Yeah.
But I feel like just nails the subject matter really well. It's the thing that always bugs me about any sort of comedy or any sort of media that tackles video games is they normally just get it so wrong. You know,
Sure.
From the level of someone playing Gears of War and then 64 controller, and the machine off or something, to just bad references and ill-informed knowledge. And so this isn't like that. This is up-to-date references from people that know what they're talking about. It's genuinely funny, and it's just like, yeah, that's cool. I feel like they're treating video games with respect,
Sure.
whilst doing it, and that I kind of really like. And yeah, it's good. It's funny.
It is. I find it really hit and miss myself.
It's because you've got no comedy in yourself.
Maybe.
I really like the Game Shop. I have watched all of it now, and after watching all of it, it is a great series. Like you were saying, it does nail the subject matter itself perfectly, and especially about employees working inside the shop. Some of the things they do really well when trying to portray like a guy that works in a shop.
Yeah, it's high quality as well.
Yeah.
It's like it's fairly big budget stuff. Like it's got a production company behind it, you know.
Right.
Which is kind of why I liked it. The Freddie Wong stuff with Video Game High School, yeah, it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but it was very good, and all of Freddie's stuff's astonishingly good. I feel like they kind of deserve a little bit of a push. Anyway, just doing it themselves. You know, these guys have just completely formed all this stuff together. They kickstarted Video Game High School, and it's done awesomely well. The Guild, I just can't see. Well, I tell you what. Okay, here's my thinking. Right, the Guild's been around for a few seasons.
It has, yeah.
Right, and it's done its time. Right,
Yep,
it's not something.
yep.
It's not a product of this year. Game Shop and Video Game High School are both things of this year.
Yep.
Didn't exist outside of that. That's why I didn't put Red vs. Blue in as my choice, because it's done 10 years now. It's won enough awards.
Sure.
Let's go Video Game High School. Let's go Video
sure?
Game High School. Yeah, why not? Because those guys, they did it themselves. It's and it's good stuff. It's not got as much behind it as Game Shop, and Game Shop's not been running long enough. If Game
Yeah.
Shop keeps going on and is strong, then maybe it does well. And I'm glad it's out there. I think it's awesome, and everyone should go and watch it. But yeah, Video Game High School, I reckon.
Yeah, I'll
Double
go with
for
that.
me.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Video Game High School it is best web series. Okay, next we're gonna go for the
Biggest surprise.
biggest surprise of 2012. What was your biggest surprise? Was it a game? Was it an event? Was it something? I don't know. Let's find out. Joe, what's your biggest surprise of 2012?
I put down FTL.
FTL, Faster Than Light, the little
Yeah,
indie game.
yeah. Because it just came out of nowhere. I just sort of found it on the internet somewhere. I'd been watching it for a little while, and it was just amazing.
It was good. It
Yeah.
was a very, very, very good game, I must admit. And we played that for ages.
Yeah.
We got wrapped up in FTL for a long, long time. one of those games that doesn't happen, but it happens every now and then with something. You just get something and you just sort of binge on it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
Never
just walk
touch it.
away. That's it. Like never going back into that dark place again. And FTL was kind of like that for me. It was
Yeah.
awesome. I need to maybe check in on it and see where it is now in terms of development because it was still in beta at the time.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
But it was that was a cool game. What about you, Sean?
I've got, and I'm confident this isn't going to win, but for me, it was Far Cry 3.
Far Cry 3 is your biggest surprise. Yeah.
Because I was just completely disconnected, just not interested at all. And I picked it up because literally it was the only thing that, it was out and we was all going to play it and all talk about it together. And man, sucked in. Loved it.
It was a good game.
Yeah.
It was a good game, I must admit. And yeah, it was a surprise. It was a surprise. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. And some of the stuff it does with the characters and the way the story is delivered, it is genuinely a lot better than you would expect for a game like that. And it's weird, right? It's like a first-person shooter that's literally had an RPG, an open-world RPG, just sort of shoehorned into it.
Yeah.
And
And
so
it works, but it works well and it's
Yeah.
delivered well and everything about it. It's just.
and they've corrected a lot of things from Far Cry 2, and yeah, it's good. I've always liked Far Cry, so I wasn't like sort of blindsided
Yeah,
by
sure.
like,
Yeah.
whoa, Far Cry's
that's
cool.
why I was
But-
saying that it probably wouldn't win because
It's
it's not going to be a surprise for you guys because
Yeah.
you played them.
Okay. Well, no, interestingly, so my selection for biggest surprise then is Spec Ops: The Line, just because that in similar reasons, right? I wasn't expecting anything
Sure.
from Spec
Yeah.
Ops. I was expecting it to be terrible.
A
We'd heard-
generic shooter, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And we'd heard about this sand gimmick before,
Yeah.
and I thought, oh no, that's not going to be great. And then all of that was kind of there and fine. The game was completely competent. It was slightly better than it wasn't an average game. It was a better than average playing game.
Sure.
But it was still only just a bit better than average in playing. But the story and the way it was unfolded and the things that I just got from that game whilst playing it were just mental. It was very nearly my game of the year.
Yeah, sure.
And it was a generic, modern day military shooter in Dubai. There was a
Yeah.
lot of real generic stuff about it, but it blew my mind. And in a world where Call of Duty and Black Ops and Battlefield and all this sort of stuff in a similar sort of setting fails to do that over and over
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Spec Ops just really stood out. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a real big surprise. I think you're right. I think Far Cry is one as well, but I think from where they were coming from, Far Cry and Spec Ops both existed in the past previously, and I had never ever taken any notice of Spec Ops before.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden it was like, shit, Spec Ops is really good. I want to play it now, just talking about it.
Yeah, I always want to just go back and play the game, but I'm just leaving it for a while
It
until
had
I
some
can,
real
yeah.
cool stuff in it. It had some real grim stuff that it forced you to do, and you do grim stuff in games all the time. But for some reason, that just really got to me. I was like, that's fucking mental. And the obvious stuff where it's trying to put it in your face didn't affect me so much. The burnt woman
Yeah.
with the baby, and you're like, it's a horrible scene, but that didn't have as much of an effect as just me going into the monitor sort of camera view to incinerate a whole bunch of
Yeah.
people without even thinking about it. That
Yeah.
was sort of like, when you do that and he like puts the screen up, you fire off some little blips, just play your little Tron game, and then when he puts the screen back down and you just look at the environment that you were just in and it's all on fire and you're like, fuck. Like that was a real clear message of like, you just did that and it just felt like this. And it's like, it was amazing. It was a War Games moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, for that alone, I was just like, no, Spec Ops, this has to be. It has to be. But I don't think I can concede on this one.
I can concede on Far Cry. Like I said, I didn't think my vote would win.
Yeah,
I'm
I
happy to
also think
concede
Far
to
Cry
you.
might get a mention elsewhere.
Yeah,
and Spec Ops maybe not, or maybe less so. But Spec Ops was just astonishing. FTL I think is good.
Yep.
It was a surprise, but it wasn't. I had no expectations that it was new.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and it was. I think it was a very good game rather than a surprise hit. More people should check it out though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I reckon Spec Ops. What
Yeah,
about-
I'm willing to go with Spec Ops.
yeah.
Yeah, I concede. I'm happy to
Yeah.
concede.
All right, Spec Ops: The Line, biggest surprise, 2012. Who'd have thunk it? No one. That's why it was the biggest surprise. All right, next up then, let's go for
Best new character.
best new character. What new character has popped up in games this year and gone, it's a me, and then not said Mario. Who's your favourite new character of this year, Joe?
I went with Jason Brody from Far Cry 3.
Jason Brody, the main character,
Yeah.
the character
Really?
you play
Yeah.
as, is your
Yeah,
favourite character.
I know he's a dick and I hate him. I really do.
Right.
But throughout that game, he does sort of just become epic.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So it's this kind of a genesis.
Yeah,
of the character.
Development,
Yeah,
basically.
it's not so much the character; it's what he becomes.
Yeah. Okay.
I have also got a Far Cry 3 character, but
Right.
mine is Buck, the lesser known villain to Vass, but he's psychotic and hilarious. Your favourite combination, right?
He's pretty good. He's
Yeah,
Australian, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a
And
good-
yeah, he's kind of
and
got a
he's
laid
got
back
some-
cockiness to him.
yeah,
that's just
very
kind of
wicked
nuts.
lines.
And he's also he has that similar thing that other characters in Far Cry all have, and very well, is that he's really, really, really fucking threatening in a non-threatening way.
Yeah.
And that's kind of unsettling.
Passive
right?
aggressive,
Yeah.
I think they call it. Yeah.
All right, well, throw mine in the mix then, because mine is also from Far Cry 3, and mine is Vass.
Fine.
Yeah.
Because I agree, Buck's brilliant, and I only think we've gone off. I think we all went off Vass a little bit, maybe just because we kind of had the Vass excitement back at that E3 with the whole definition of an insanity video.
Yeah.
But I think of how much we went nuts over that, and then seeing other things in him and go,
He
he
is-
just blows me away.
Yeah, he is just all the way through Far Cry. Every time he pops up, just like he is just fucking amazing as a
He
character.
just has there's a presence to him that just makes me want to watch. If he's around, I want to watch him.
Yeah, it's
you know?
just what sums him up perfectly is just that beginning intro where he's showing you the video, he takes it away, and then he just keeps flipping between normal and just crazy.
Has anyone watched the Far Cry Experience, the live action web show that they did? For Far Cry
No.
3? It's got him in it. It's
Right,
got Vass
yeah.
in it. It's got the actor that plays him as Vass, and he just looks just like him, and it's just as scary as. And it's kind of fucked up. It's worth watching.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah, so this is tricky. Buck's great. I really did like Buck actually, and his threats towards Keith when he's got
Yeah.
Keith and stuff, and he is kind of funny. He's more. I think maybe the only thing is I think with Buck is I feel like I've seen that character before.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, like he
kind of
like if he wasn't going to be Australian, he was going to be British.
he kind
you know?
of fits into the kind of camp villain.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's the guy.
Box,
He's the
doesn't
guy
he?
from somewhere else. That's the thing. He is a guy who has ended up on the island and is there like now, sort of chilling, really, rather than someone who was born or from the island.
Yeah, sure.
He is an outsider, just as you are, but from somewhere else. You know,
Yeah.
and you get that character quite a lot, and normally played by someone slightly eccentric in a movie or something. So that-
Again with this one, I'm happy to concede to Vass. Vass
yeah,
is,
well,
he
Vass
is an
I've never
amazing
seen before. Vass, I haven't
characterisation.
really seen like that. He's so threatening. He's so threatening. It's
He
just
is,
unbelievable,
yeah.
and he's hilarious. And he's so well written.
He is,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so well written.
So
it's
well done,
it's
yeah.
just unbelievable.
But most of the characters in the game are. I mean, the Doctor's fantastic as
They
well.
are. I think what this says more than anything is that Far Cry 3 has some really incredible characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all chosen different ones, and Joe, you make a good point as well. Of your character, yeah, we hate him, but the
evolution.
journey that you go on, throughout the game is crazy, and he
Yeah.
changes completely. And some people like it, some people don't, But Far Cry 3 goes a lot better in its methods of showing you the way the character changes and
Yeah.
his reasoning for changing. What I like about Far Cry 3, really short and simple, right? Your guys, you're trapped on an island, survive, get out. That's it. That's kind of the story
Yeah.
of Far Cry 3, right? And because it's that simple, you always kind of know what you're supposed to be doing. You always
Yeah.
kind of and the motivation for him doing that is really simple, and so it all just neatly fits together. And so that really is cool, and I think that's a big part of it. Far Cry 3 does not have an overly complicated narrative,
No.
really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's cool, but I feel like I don't see my character, Jason Brody,
Yeah.
do enough in order for me to put him forward as an
Agreed.
answer. Do you know,
Yeah.
like, because I am him. I'm seeing through his eyes. And then Vass and Buck,
It's going to be Vass every time out of those three.
you reckon? Well, yeah, okay, well, I guess that's
Yeah.
it then. You,
Yeah.
you kind of have a sway and control over that if you
Yeah.
think it's Vass or Buck.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I like them both.
Yeah, Buck is awesome, but Vass is just like every time you see him, you just want to get away. You just want it to end, and you want to be
Man,
away
that
from
bit
him.
when he's all like, I'll give you 30 seconds. He's like, I respect you, man. I'll give you 30 seconds. He's like, run, Forrest, run. And they're just chasing you, and he's just screaming Forrest Gump quotes. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. It's a great game.
It is.
A great game. All right, then. We'll go with Vass then as best new character for 2012. And I don't think we'll ever see him again.
No.
So, yeah. All right, next up then, let's go for... Well, let's turn the tides. Let's get grim. Let's get nasty. Let's get dirty.
Worst game of the year.
What's your worst game of the year? The worst game of the year, Joe?
I've gone Resident Evil Raccoon City.
Oh, Operation Raccoon City.
Yeah,
The slant 6 shooter.
Yeah.
Team-based shooter.
Absolutely diabolical.
I didn't play it, but I heard bad things.
Yes, it was. It's like out of all of the bad games I played this year, this one just always stays with me. Every time I see it, I just get this horrible feeling inside of just like that game is just evil.
Well, and you quite like Resident Evil, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it kind of does piss on you a little bit.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. I think that's probably quite a good contender. What about you?
You're not going to be happy. Rocket Girl.
Rocket Girl.
Yeah.
The Xbox
Oh,
Live
man.
indie game about a girl that looks like she's sort of surfing some sort of phallic crayon.
Yes,
Through
that
the air.
that'd be the one.
With
the
it's
strippers
trippy
and the
visuals.
police
it's-
cars.
No, that can't be.
Yeah.
Worst
No.
game?
Yeah,
No.
it sucked.
No.
And this
no.
epileptic-inducing flickering.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
part of its
hated
joy.
it.
That's part of
No,
its joy. Oh, that's a
rubbish.
mean one. It's a mean choice.
That is evil slightly.
All right, well, my choice then was Never Dead by Rebellion, which came out earlier in the year, which not a lot of people played, thankfully.
Published by Konami, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Pretty sure it was, yeah.
And it was, you're a guy that couldn't die and you could tear off your limbs and throw at people. It's
Yeah, I
almost
heard
like
it
a
was
Stubbs
bad.
the Zombie vibe in some way, but not quite as good. And Rebellion, broken mess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know,
I heard it.
Just dreadful. Just Rebellion is kind of the like every now and then a studio or a publisher or a thing just becomes a warning sticker for everything. You're like, if I see that name on it, pretty sure I know what's coming up, right? And actually, Rebellion weren't too bad. They did Sniper Elite. That was a good and would have been a good contender for surprise, I think, of the year. But Never Dead, I just thought it was just awful. Okay, so how are we gonna work this out then? You know, Rocket Girls.
Yeah, Rocket. Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just, all right, I'll
That's
just
just
see
bullying.
Rocket Girl.
That's
Yeah.
just bullying.
Used to battle it out.
I would say Rocket Girl was amazing.
Yeah.
It was
It
not
was so
amazing.
bad. It was awesome.
No,
Yeah.
It sailed that line of being so bad that it was good again.
It was just rubbish.
So you reckon Operation Raccoon City?
Yeah, it's just terrible in every way. It's like a generic third-person shooter that doesn't work very well. Takes away sort of all mechanics that every zombie game teaches you to aim for the head, and it's just like, don't worry about that. Just shoot them anywhere, they'll die.
Yeah.
And it's just
It didn't look very nice.
it was ugly. The guns were just terrible, and it didn't have anything at all.
It was
going
not
for it.
at all in any way what I wanted from a Resident Evil game.
No.
I never asked for Operation Raccoon City.
Sure.
And all of a sudden I was getting
There it was,
you know? Yeah. All right.
I can't cast a vote on this because I've not played
It's-
it.
it's,
Yeah.
you know,
I don't have any sort of affiliation to.
I'm happy to go with
Resident Evil.
Operation Raccoon City because not enough people bought Never Dead
For it
to
affect-
worry
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it.
to affect.
You know.
There was far more many copies of
Yeah, more
Resident
damage.
Evil out
More
there,
damage was done. There's more people that need our help, that bought Operation Raccoon City than Never Dead. So let's go with
Yeah.
that. Operation Raccoon City, then worst game of 2012. Stay away from it. All right, we'll do one more then, and we're going to take a quick break and come back with some of the hotter, more exciting categories of the year. But before we go, we'll end on what should we end on?
Best soundtrack.
What game, Joe, for you had the best soundtrack of 2012?
I'm gonna go with Mass Effect 3.
Mass Effect 3, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know what the
It's
soundtrack is for
mostly
that.
kind of sci-fi, scenic-y music.
Yeah, but it always goes just so well with the game itself, and it's just
Sets
there
the
in the
mood.
background. Yeah.
Like candles. Do you like candles when you play Mass Effect?
No.
I can imagine it being alright, yeah. Sort of epic sounding,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah. Do you listen to it?
I have the soundtrack for the first one, which I do listen to occasionally.
Okay, alright. What do you do when you're listening to it?
It's generally when I'm walking somewhere or.
He's lying. He's shocking out, man.
Yeah,
Big
I know.
fish,
It's
little
freaking.
fish, cardboard box.
Maybe. Alright, what about you, Sean?
It's got to be Hotline Miami, right?
Yeah, that's mine. It's got to be Hotline Miami.
It's just
I
Epic.
listen to it all the fucking time. All the time. Everything about
it's
that
got
soundtrack is
everything
amazing.
you want. It's kind of got the mellow, trippy opening music of horse stepping at the beginning, to just like mental techno beats for smashing people's heads in with crowbars. It's got everything you need.
It's geniusly done. It works perfectly as background music, but also as music you want to listen to. It's all really long and loopy because of the levels and the nature of the game. It's not annoying, but it does get inside your head. It's freaking brilliant, and it's really intelligent, and it's done by a number of different artists. You'd play that game and you'd think one person did the soundtrack to the whole game. And it's not the case at all. It's a good compilation of just awesome stuff.
I mean, to be fair, this was going to be a tough category. There's been a lot of good game soundtracks.
Actually,
this
yeah,
year.
that's a good point.
It's been mental this year.
Well, is there anything then that you think that almost got into this category that for you? I mean, for me, it was always Hotline Miami, no matter what.
I did have a second one on the list. I had Max Payne because that had some amazing music.
Max Payne
as
really
well,
did,
yeah,
and really cool use of the Max Payne theme and stuff and that. And Double Dragon Neon was really good with its individual tracks made for every power up.
Yeah,
you know. And a song at the end, obviously.
Yeah,
you know,
the song at the end is epic.
Exactly.
Well.
So there was some really good music and a lot of effort put into music this year. You know, a lot of lyrics put down for stuff.
Yeah.
So Dragon's Dogma had some nuts music in it.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
yeah.
It was really insane. So you know that is kind of weird. Halo 4 has some good music in it.
And again, we got mentioned Far Cry for music as well.
Yeah,
Dubstep
perfect choice of the soundtrack's fantastic. The dubstep maybe we could take it or leave it, but the actual soundtrack's great. Great choice of song for the beginning. But same with Borderlands 2. Great choice of song at the beginning. You know, really really nicely done.
It was a tough category this year.
Yeah.
Really tough category.
But in terms of stuff actually just genuinely being created and applied well, and each track fitting every level and everything like that, it's got to be Hotline Miami for me. It's got to be. The variety's in it more. You know, I don't know the Mass Effect 3 soundtrack.
Yeah.
But I can imagine it.
Yeah.
And I imagine it not varying that much. You know.
Yeah. It not massively.
Would you put it on as you were laying down a lady, Joe?
You could probably could put a few in there.
You reckon? All right.
On a mixed disc.
Yeah, slow chill out.
Would you put the Hotline Miami soundtrack on though as you were laying down a lady?
That would just be insane, but you
You might be laying her down in a different way, right? You might be laying her down with a hammer. But yeah, I don't know. For me, well, I don't think there's any contest, Joe. It's going to be Hotline Miami.
Yeah. I had no choice in this. Yeah.
All right, Hotline Miami then, soundtrack of the year. With that, then we're going to take a quick break while we bash our heads together for the rest of these categories. We'll play some music now. Oh yeah, inspired with the idea of you're all winners out there, and if you're not, then you should follow this man's advice to find out how you could be a winner sometime in the future. This is Paul Stanley with Live to Win.
Degraded, down before you're done. Rejection, depression, can't get what you want. You ask me how I made my way. You ask me everywhere at night. You hang on every word I say, but the truth sounds like a lie. Live to win till you die, till the light dies in your eyes. Live to win, take it all, just keep fighting till you fall.
Okay, we are back and with the second half of our, awards show, of the year show. It's not really Game of the Year show because not all of these are Game of the Year, but of the year.
Show.
The year. Right, let's come straight back into it then and get down to some serious business. The next award is
Publisher of the Year.
Publisher of the Year. We're going to go with Publisher of the Year. Interesting one this. Obviously publishers have, up and down years all the time. THQ are not in good shape at the moment. I'm not expecting their names to come up here, but you never know. So, Joe, what's your Publisher of the Year?
I went with Bethesda.
Bethesda. Why'd you go with Bethesda, Joe?
They've had a not too bad year this year. What they've done, Dishonored. They published Dishonored and they published Doom 3 BFG edition.
Right.
Both solid, good games.
Yeah. Well, and been there's been a decent amount of Skyrim support this year as well. I think they've handled that quite well. They've not shafted anyone, and all of the cool stuff out of the Game Jam stuff. I think they've done well by their fans, I would say. Bethesda, that's cool. What about you, Sean?
Microsoft Studios.
Microsoft Studios, why?
Because, man, they just knock hits out of the park.
Like what?
What? Mark and Ninja was Microsoft.
Really? But I suppose it was good, yeah.
Halo 4 was Microsoft. There's a lot of arcade games that are straight up Microsoft.
Okay, but Microsoft, I guess they've been alright. I don't know, I don't associate necessarily too much cool stuff with them.
I think Minecraft was published by Microsoft, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
I think it's such a thing on your Xbox with that display coming up with the little paintbrush, Epic Mickey paintbrush stroke underneath it, that you kind of stop paying attention to it.
No, I don't think there's as many as you think. I think, I think the point is they are normally quality games. That Microsoft have done a good job of selecting out decent titles to then make exclusive for their system, and they have been exclusives. That's the thing. Like Minecraft is a good example, right? I would say that they've done a pretty good job. But they don't generally. I don't feel like they have much input into the stuff they're doing. They're just kind of selecting good stuff.
Yeah, sure. I'll say that's fair, but I think that's what you want to do to some degree as a publisher, right?
Yeah.
You want to pick those ones, and they're kind of, like I said, they're exclusives to us Xbox owners.
That's just no fun if you're a PS3 owner.
No. But fortunately, I'm not.
I would say then I've got Sega down for my Publisher of the Year this year, just because of the cool stuff they've been doing. Again with XBLA and PSN, but the amount of re-releases that they've started doing. I feel like people have been clamouring for some real old Sega stuff for a long time that they just refused to have re-released, and they kept doing stuff that people didn't want. Crazy Taxi, no one really wanted another Crazy Taxi, didn't need it. Sonic Adventure, no. It started off kind of rocky like that, and then now they've moved into really good times with it. We've had the weird fighting collection that came out recently with Fighting Vipers and Virtua Fighter 2. Toe Jam and Earl collection that was there, Jet Set Radio, Knights, just stuff that people have been asking for a long time. It's the equivalent of Square Enix doing Final Fantasy VII, right? It's stuff that people just really wanted. Whether they're any good or not is another thing. Knights is not a very good game, but people love it. So I'm kind of happy with the way they've gone with that, and they've really pushed it, and I think they've done quite well for them. We've seen less of an emphasis on crap new games like the episodic Sonic stuff.
Yeah.
And more on, actually, they've got some good old back catalogue stuff that people want to see again, and that's quite nice. Toe Jam and Earl collection, really, really surprised to see that. Never expected to see Toe Jam and Earl come out again, and so really, really grateful for that. There was some stuff recently, actually, and we should maybe talk about the news, but the Streets of Rage game that Ruffian were working on, there's a video up on YouTube of that. So Ruffian, the guys who made Crackdown 2, were making a Streets of Rage game.
Oh, really? That's quite interesting.
And there's a video up there. It looks awesome. So they may still be doing it, but I don't know. But yeah, so Sega, I think they've handled stuff quite well. It's a tricky one. I don't know. What do we think?
See, I'm happy to stay with Bethesda.
Well, you would be. It's your choice. I'm happy to stay with Sega.
I understand where you're coming from with Sega, because there is always just new stuff coming up, and like you're saying with Toe Jam and Earl, great game, and just have it re-released on these new consoles, getting new people playing them, getting it out there to the newer generation who never played them as well, getting Sega a bigger name again.
But then what about Ubisoft? Why has no one brought up Ubisoft?
Ubisoft,
one of the hardest working publishers out there, right? And they've done some good stuff.
Ubisoft was my choice before Microsoft.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not keen on all their online stuff, all the Uplay stuff. That's what kind of puts me off them. But You know, the support they've given the Wii U is really, really, really good. It's a tough one. I don't know.
I'll go with Sega. You know.
Sega.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Microsoft.
Yeah.
Not swayed by Sean's Microsoft argument.
Not really. No, Microsoft. Yeah, they are a great company, and they do they do publish great games as well. But Sega's just like all consoles as well, whereas Microsoft is, like you were saying, specifically on Xbox. Sega are just doing things on everything, and
I'd like to see Sega return to form. You know, they've had some bad times from being sort of like beloved heroes to sort of like then just completely losing it and falling out of the hardware market. Then there was a time when they were quite positive sort of software force, and then that just collapsed as well. You know, and I would like Sega's a name I don't want to see disappear.
Sure.
You know, it's like a proper video game company. And so okay, they're just rehashing old stuff, but they get a big pass from me for Bayonetta. You know, a couple of years back with all the references and stuff, and I like Sega stuff. You know, so
sure.
Well,
Joe's sided with you anyway. So it's irrelevant what I
Sega.
say.
Publisher of the year 2012. Sega. Crazy. All right, then let's move on from that then and nail it down a little bit and go for
Developer of the Year.
who is your developer of the year? Who's done some standout work or deserves the accolade of developer of the year 2012? I think this is open and shut as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I know.
I'm interested to know what you think, Joe.
I went with Jaeger.
Jaeger.
Yeah.
The Spec Ops 2 guys.
Yep.
Yeah, and I that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Why in particular was that?
It was mainly just Spec Ops because Spec Ops was just amazing, and they need more recognition because they I never see their name on anything. Really.
No, they don't do a lot, and they
Yeah.
do a lot of very hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
So Jaeger very, very good. I think I don't think they're going to win, but they're very
No,
good.
yeah.
What about you, Sean?
I went with 4J Studios.
So this is to do with Minecraft.
Yeah, I don't know if Mojang is the correct one to go for. 4Js, it's between them. They kind of port and developed a game, haven't they?
Okay.
I mean, the support that Minecraft that they've managed to wrangle for Minecraft and getting kind of free, it's more benefit to them, but it does benefit us as well. The fact that they're not paying 40 grand a pop for every kind of piece of update that comes out, and the update support for Minecraft has been amazing.
It's been pretty good, yeah. I mean, I still think my only issue with Minecraft is it launched on the Xbox 360 without all the stuff that's in Minecraft.
Sure.
You know, so yeah, they've spoiled it well, but they're still only catching up, right? The game didn't come out full in the first place. They did essentially another beta. And Minecraft, obviously had that beta for years.
Yeah.
And they just sort of, what I don't like is they kind of done that again on the Xbox 360, and I feel like, no, you should have just ported the whole game across.
Yeah.
They're doing it anyway. Why is that?
The argument might have been that we may still not be playing Minecraft on our 360s if they hadn't done it that way.
I think there's other ways they could have supported it with extra content. But extra content they can do. Like I think that's my issue, is that what we've seen from, yes, lots of support, but I haven't really seen them create anything extra. They're just bringing across stuff that they've already done from the PC. So once that's done, and then if there's a year's worth of and here's some new stuff, we've invented new weapons, and I'm like, cool, you're working on it still. But at the moment, to a degree, right, they're just copying and pasting code.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's a crude way of putting it, but is that not what they're doing? My developer of the year, then, with that in mind, is 343 Industries for Halo 4. Halo 4 is a technically astonishing game, just visually and so solid, and so it's just amazing, the amount of stuff that's in there. To come from a studio that, yes, was made up of hand-picked people who were sort of the best of the best, and from a lot of different areas. It's just tight. It's just solid. I know Halo 4's had more money thrown at it than anything in the world, right? But they didn't fuck it up. They didn't. They made a Halo game that feels like a Halo game that will please everyone and just looks so good.
It does.
That I think is technically Halo 4 is the most impressive game I've ever seen on 360.
Yeah.
And for that alone, it's just sort of like, wow, you guys, they've achieved stuff that I didn't think was possible on a machine.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
And so, 343 it has to be for me. I'm terribly excited to see what comes out of them next.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it'll be good to see what comes out from next. I'd prefer maybe not a Halo game next time, but yeah.
Well, they are a Halo studio. So
that's what I mean. Yeah,
maybe unlikely. But,
yeah.
But yeah, I think that's. I don't know. Jaeger are good.
Yeah,
they are good.
I never expected
is
to
their
win
work
with
as
that
technically
choice.
as good, or do I think they're a stronger team? No, I don't. And
I think
4J,
you're- I think
I
you're-
think they still only ported it.
Yeah, I think your points are
You know?
valid.
Yeah.
And we've
Alright.
both conceded.
Nobody expected
343.
343 to make a better Halo game than
Than Bungie,
Bungie,
sure.
and it's arguable that they did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 343 Industries then I think
Takes it.
developer of the year, which is ironic really because let's face it, most of Halo 4 wasn't developed this year. None of these games were, but that's fine. Next up then, let's go for
Best multiplayer experience.
Best multiplayer experience. So this can be anything from an online, deathmatch type environment, or a co-op mode, or local play, anything like that. But best multiplayer experience, most fun you had playing with Charms. Joe.
See, I've gone with Battlefield 3.
Yep.
Even though the game wasn't out this
Didn't
year.
come out this year. Tenuous.
Yeah, but I've played most of it this year.
There's a lot, and there was a
Yeah,
lot of DLC
yeah,
this year,
there has
right?
been,
And
yeah.
that's what you've been playing.
Yep.
Okay, so and so tell me about that because it changed it quite a bit. There was the close quarters stuff.
There was
right?
Close Quarters, was the second one they done.
And that kind of changed it up a little bit, right? That
Yeah,
was,
it was-
adding a new element to the game of sort of, it was making it much smaller scale.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that
was-
I think qualifies. I think
Yeah.
that alone makes it qualify because it wasn't just here's some new maps.
Yeah. It was dramatic changes each time, and the way that the game itself actually played, especially with the one that come out this week where everything is just like torn down and changes the way everything plays.
It's crazy that to think that there's some come out this week because Battlefield 3 is old now.
Yeah.
And it's nuts that they're still releasing maps for it and cool. So, that's good. Multiplayer is good in Battlefield. I'm not a Battlefield player, but it is good. I do enjoy it.
The multiplayer in Battlefield, in my opinion, is just like some of the greatest multiplayer I've ever played.
Yeah.
I know neither of you will agree with me because neither of you play these games, and I never went into this expecting to win this at all. But it's
What's with all this downness all the time? Everyone coming in not expecting to win. I'm expecting to win on every single one of my choices. Battlefield 3. No, I think that's a fair choice. What about you, Sean?
Halo 4.
Halo 4. All right, for similar reasons, I guess.
Yes, I mean it's what I pump all of my multiplayer time into. Period.
Yeah, it's tight.
Yeah, I think Minecraft is the only other thing I've played any multiplayer on at all this year.
I must admit, Halo 4 is definitely the game that I will play the most and have played the most this year in terms of multiplayer. And I do really like it. But I also think with that, I have like a base game that I go to, and it's a Halo game normally, and it's there. There's always one there for every year. It was Reach last time, it's this one this time, and I know already that it will be the next one next time.
Sure.
And so I couldn't decide. I thought for this category, I thought maybe Halo 4 is my choice because I do play it a lot. But I don't know if I just play a lot because that's kind of the sport I play.
Right.
It's one of my hobbies is to play Halo 4. Was to play Halo. So I wasn't sure. For me though, this category was not won by a game like that, and it was another game. It was a smaller game that I think produced the best multiplayer experiences I've had, and that was Hidden in Plain Sight.
Yeah, I thought you
Yeah.
was going to go for that.
Because Hidden in Plain Sight was astonishingly good.
Yeah.
But and you can't play it any other way other than multiplayer, right? But I've never had more fun than just fucking around with people in the same room, playing this awesome sort of cat and mouse game of stealth.
Yeah.
It's so simple. It's brilliant.
It is tough.
I don't always have fun when I play Halo.
Yeah, I can concede
Yeah,
that.
yeah, but you always have fun.
But
with it,
Hidden in Plain
yeah.
Sight there's always someone laughing at some point.
But
Yeah.
I do have fun. I do have immense amounts of fun playing Halo.
Oh yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And I'm gonna play Halo a hell of a lot more than I'm gonna play Hidden in Plain Sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Hidden in Plain Sight could be a board game that kept on my shelf in my living room. It's that integral
Yeah.
that I kind of always want it there,
Sure.
and I'll get it down very occasionally, but I'll have awesome times with it. Whereas Halo 4 is kind of more of like that's just part of my day-to-day thing. you know?
Living. It's like breathing.
So, the other thing about Hidden in Plain Sight, which I like about it, is just the idea of just getting people in a room together. Has got to be a positive thing, right?
Yeah,
Then
Yeah.
our racist friend that we meet online.
Yeah, retro social gaming.
Yeah. So, it's tricky.
I'll concede. I'll
Yeah,
concede
yeah, I'm
Plain
happy to
Sight.
go Hidden Place.
It's an incredible game.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It is.
For 80 Microsoft points,
It's just insane.
everyone needs to try it. It's on PC as well. It's just such a great game.
Yeah.
All right, Hidden in Plain Sight then is the best multiplayer experience of 2012. Okay, next up then we'll go for
Best kids game.
best kids game for 2012. Now we have children, Sean, not together, obviously, independently. And how do you feel about video games with her? You're happy with her and games, right?
Yeah, she watches me play a fair amount of games.
Yeah,
She
exactly.
gets
It's
involved
never
in
been
where she
something.
can.
It's never been something. Obviously, my daughter's considerably younger than yours, but it's never been something that I've been worried about. I'm not like one of those. No, my kid's not going to go near games. They're important.
Yeah.
So yeah, with this in mind, we're just thinking like, what was the best sort of kid-friendly game, I guess, that came out this year? And I think it's quite an easy one for me. There wasn't that many this year. I didn't feel that. Well, there wasn't that many that we came into contact
Yeah.
with. And you do get that quite a lot, that crossover of sort of like, well, kids can play it, and adults
Yeah.
can enjoy it. And obviously we don't play, the Peppa Pig games and things, and they may all be fantastic. But so this category is more for if you maybe like us and you've got a child yourself and you're into games and you want a game that maybe you don't have to be embarrassed about sitting on the shelf that you can play with your child or that they might like. It's kind of more of that sort of thing. So, Joe, what's your choice?
I've just gone, I had to have a child, so I've just gone with Skylander Giants.
Yeah, well,
'Cause, yeah.
actually, and a really, really good
Yeah.
option.
Yeah.
I actually forgot about
So
Skylanders.
did I.
Yeah.
Kids fucking love that stuff, man.
Oh, they go crazy for it. And it's like with the individual figures, there's so much, variety in there as well. And
The only downside to anything Skylanders that I have found out from personal experience is they cost a fucking bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, man. They're like cracked kids, and
Yeah.
so you're like it's like 15 quid a pop each time.
Yeah.
That is its only downside, but it's great.
Yeah.
Kids love it. They're good games, man. It's managed to capture that Pokemon success.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's nuts. And obviously, it would be Activision to do it, wouldn't it? But
Yeah.
it's good game. What about you, Sean?
Lego Batman 2.
Lego
DC
Batman 2.
Superheroes.
I've got to say it. I've gone for Lego Batman 2 as well.
That was my first choice as well. But I thought, no.
I mean, I think Skylanders is a great choice, and I think
Yeah,
kids will like
yeah.
it. And I think overall, maybe your kid will get more enjoyment out of that, maybe. But it's going to cause you more grief in having to buy the figures, store the figures, and do all that. It'd be great if you had a very patient child that you can just top up. Here's a birthday present. You got a new Skylander, but I don't know if Skylanders are going to be around long enough for you to be able to do that over a year. Lego Batman 2, however, was a good game that you can play yourself.
Yeah.
It was funny, man. It was
Yeah.
funny, and
It
the
was, yeah.
superheroes were cool. And simple enough. The Lego games are great for kids. Traveller's Tales, they just know what they're doing with those now, right?
Yeah, well, what me and Elle were doing, we're playing it co-op. So she
Yeah.
had
Oh,
one
and
joypad
actually,
out,
and the
other
co-op's
joypad.
perfect. It's
Yeah.
it's really
And then
good for that
You can give the
parent-child
proper helping
thing.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Well, there's no question. We've outvoted you, and slammed your face into a table, Joe.
Well, yeah.
It's Lego Batman 2. It has to be. It's a great game, and the open world stuff's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so funny.
Yeah.
So funny. Yeah. I mean, will the Lego games ever stop?
I don't know.
They
They just keep absorbing more
Yeah,
stuff into it.
exactly.
Marvel one's got to be next, right?
I mean, let's not forget there was a Lego Rock Band.
A Hobbit.
It's just crazy. Yeah, there'll be Hobbit stuff, I'm sure. So, yeah, all right, fair enough. All right, then let's move on. Let's get into some more exciting, bigger games then, and go for
Downloadable Game of the Year.
best downloadable game of this year. Could have been on XBLA, PSN. Could have been a PC digital title as well. Joe, what's your choice?
I went with The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, Telltale's episodic,
Yep.
5-part megathon. That was it was awesome.
It was, yeah.
It was
Really
a
yeah.
damn good game.
Yeah, amazing.
All right, Sean, what about you?
I'm going to piss everybody off because this game's just going to keep cropping up from now on, and it's Minecraft 360 edition.
Yeah, Minecraft XBLA. That's fair enough. No dice though, because it's The Walking Dead. Hands down, it's downloadable game of the year.
To be fair, it was one
Yeah.
out of the two of them, basically.
and it's fair point. The Minecraft XBLA, it's good, as we've said. The updates have been cool. It's fine, but for me, it's just like Minecraft's an old game. They've just ported it across,
Sure.
and it wasn't all there. It's still great. It still really is great. This isn't a diss to Minecraft at all. Also, man, they don't need any more awards or money or sales. It's been incredibly successful. What Telltale did with The Walking Dead was mind-blowing. They executed well, well enough on the episodic stuff, made an interesting game. They delivered the choices and consequences that Mass Effect promised in a better way. They
Yeah.
didn't necessarily deliver on all of it,
Sure.
but they did it in a much more successful way. And I just feel like they really genuinely changed the way storytelling's been handled in games. It was cool.
Yeah, it was. Even if this game did sort of piss me off halfway through, by the end of it, I was just like, yeah, this game really is just amazing.
Yeah, it was a genuine proper
Yeah.
experience, and it was cool. Nothing's been like that. Nothing's captured you enough to just keep coming back and downloading it each time. And yeah, it was good. I don't know what it would be like as a retail game. You know, I feel like that was the best way they could have done it.
Sure.
It is
Yeah.
getting a retail release, of course, but I feel like that was the best way, and because of that, it's sort of like, yes, you've properly nailed the medium for doing this stuff, and you've shown us that actually that could work. So yeah, I'm keen for season 2. I mean, there's no question we've outvoted you, but
Yeah, but I'm not upset. I was quite happy
yeah,
to go with that.
yeah. I mean, like I say, it's damn good. So yeah, Walking Dead then, downloadable game of 2012. Let's move on, and next we will go on to
Best beard.
best beard. What was the best beard of 2012? Quite a lot of beards in games these days.
Yep.
You know, a lot of beards on gamers. You got a beard, Joe?
I have indeed, yes.
It's not.
yes.
It's not the best beard.
No. It's not. It's not the best one I've had. But yeah.
What was your best beard then for 2012?
I'm gonna go with Dusty from Medal of Honor Warfighter.
Yeah, which you know could have been named Medal of Beard Fighter.
Yeah, Medal of Honor is known for its beards.
There's a lot of beards in that
Yeah.
game. There's an awful lot of beards in the game, and they did actually make a thing out of it, didn't they?
Yeah,
They were sort
yeah.
of like, yeah, we got beards. You
Yeah.
know, more beards than ZZ Top. Sean, what about you?
Mine was Max Payne.
Max Payne,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's-
his sort
yeah.
of dishevelled, I'm like down on my luck beard. That
It's
really had
the
a,
big
you know,
one with the bald head. It
Yeah.
makes it pop.
a beard with a bald head's good look.
Yeah.
I
If
felt.
you can pull it off. If you've got a Hawaiian shirt, big gut, and a gun holster.
That sort of Breaking Bad look that he was going
Yeah.
for, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I gotta say, for me, it's Medal of Honor and the beards, man. They
Yeah.
they set out to conquer the beard. They had a goal in mind. They were like, we're making the beards, and they went for it, and they really did go for it. And yes, it is Dusty. Dusty
Yeah,
is the character that has the most awesome beard in the world. But there's so many beards in that game that there are situations in the game where you'll just be looking at a room full of beards.
Yeah.
You never have to just contend with one beautifully beautifully rendered slow motion beard. Max Payne beard was great.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
was,
and,
yeah.
and I like the fact that this year in particular, a lot of video game characters have got beards. A lot of people have got beards. Bond got a beard.
Did
you
he?
know?
Yeah. It was a bit. Yeah.
beardy.
You know, everyone got a bit beardy, and so that's fine. So there are no losers in this category. There are, you know, everyone's a winner when we're talking about beards.
Yep.
But Dusty's got to have it.
Yeah.
He's
It
he's
is.
the biggest winner.
It
I feel
is
like
magnificent.
his name also tells you about his beard. Like,
Yeah.
it probably would be quite dusty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Dusty then from Medal of Honor Warfighter, best beard of 2012. Next up, we're going to have a look at
Best graphics.
the best graphics category. Which game this year had the best graphics? It's a bit of a simple sort of dumbed down category. This, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did they look nice?
Was it shiny?
You know, which one looked nicest? Yeah. So yeah, Joe. With that in mind, what was the best looking game for you this
I
year?
went for Forza Horizon.
Oh, okay.
good
Yeah,
one.
Forza Horizon, always good. I mean, car games are always pretty good looking,
Yeah.
right?
Especially in playbacks. I find they look better in playback
Yeah.
than they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
In
They do.
driving
Yeah,
mode,
it's all
yeah.
about
It's,
the replay.
it is a lot easier to make a car game shiny than it is to, you know.
Well, a lot of artificial surfaces.
Yeah,
You know, a
yeah.
lot of shiny metals and things, and the background's always in the distance and going past you at speed. So you know, there
But
is
Forza's
that.
always been really good, especially since sort of 4 with doing their backgrounds.
A different environment this time as well.
Yeah, it was all in Colorado, so it was all sort of dusty, and there was all. It did vary quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah, Forza. I can imagine
Yeah.
that being a nice looking game. What's this for you, Sean?
For me, it's got to be Halo 4.
Yeah,
It
same
just
as.
knocks it out of the box. It's a beautiful game.
Yeah, it's the one thing that hits you as soon as you turn it on, isn't it? So like, this game looks incredible.
Yeah.
Just incredible. The lighting in Halo 4 is amazing, and it all transfers over into multiplayer. Multiplayer is also very, very good looking.
But it's just the epic vistas as well. It's just, and a lot of games where you look at the background, you can kind of go, it looks quite 2D. I don't know with Halo if those backgrounds are 3D models, but they look like 3D models.
I think it's a
Yeah.
mixture. I think there's a lot of rendered stuff in there. But I mean, that, you know, Bungie were famous for it. Well, the Halo series, I guess, was famous for it of its skyboxes. They were always incredibly beautiful skyboxes, and they still are in this. And they try for it now because it's known for it. But even all the multiplayer maps, the new ones that came out today, they all look just staggeringly good. Yeah, I think Halo 4 hands down is just astonishing. It just really does look impressive. And the thing about Halo 4 as well was the game, without any spoilers, but nothing really happens that was particularly epic in the game as a
Yeah.
set piece moment. It's like its set pieces are the vistas
Yeah,
that it constantly brings you to.
Yeah.
It knows it looks
And the sense
good.
of scale.
Yeah.
It's just
And it's
Things are
CGI and it's
huge.
awesome. Everything about that game is very polished. So yeah, I mean, Halo 4 by far best looking game of 2012. All right, let's move on. Let's have a look at
Biggest disappointment.
now, Joe. Do you know what my biggest disappointment of the year was?
Me?
That's right, Joe. That's right. Yeah. Which is weird because you won it last year.
Yeah, I know. I seem to win it every year with you, Mike.
Yeah, you know, it's not your fault.
No. I think
But
it's more yours.
I would have words with your marketing team. With that in mind, then, biggest disappointment. What game let you down the most this year? It happens. It does happen.
Yeah, it does,
It's tragic. You know, we get so pumped for games, and then sadly they come out, and you're like, oh man, you know,
Yeah.
like, why am I having to fix my gun? Why did my gun break?
Yeah.
You know, that's not what I want my gun to do in a game. What was your biggest disappointment of this year?
The Witcher 2.
The Witcher 2. That's
Yeah.
a shock. Really?
Well, I was expecting so much more from that game than I got, and I did finish it, but it just took me so much effort to get there.
Right. And this is particularly the 360 version.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a slog. It wasn't
was.
fun.
No.
But I didn't disappoint me. The Witcher 2. It was sort of, it was still it was a huge game. It was an epic game. It was nicely done. But it was I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know, which I guess probably means I was disappointed. I don't know. Yeah, okay, Witcher 2. That's valid. What about for you, Sean?
For me, it was the DLC for Batman: Harley Quinn's Revenge.
Oh, okay. Why? Why
Because I was psyched. I was like, this is going to be the first bit of story-based DLC for Batman, and it was flat.
Right.
The plot didn't match up to the scale of plot. Well, in terms of kind of epicness, it's not going to the main game, but it didn't have the same caliber I felt to it.
Yeah, I wonder who wrote it. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
written by the same guys or if it was in-house stuff or.
And the fact it was kind of separate from the main game, and the best thing about kind of DLC for open world games is that generally you can slot it in, right?
Right.
With Fallout and Skyrim, that's how it works. These are things that can be triggered at any point during your main campaign, and that's by far the best way to do it.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I
games.
guess that's a little bit trickier with Batman because there's a bit
Sure.
more of a narrative through it. But yeah, it's a shame when it's just like a little bolt-on mini episode type thing.
Exactly.
I didn't play it, but yeah, I did hear mixed things. And the writing in particular, I think, is a key thing there. I think it was a different set of guys or
Right.
whoever did it, and that's going to have an impact,
Yeah,
especially if you've enjoyed the story of a game so far. You're looking for more of that, and story DLC is always what people want, right?
Yeah.
You very rarely get it, and so yeah, that is a bit of a bummer. My biggest disappointment this year was Dust and Elysian Tale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You know?
also.
That was a game that was like it was the one in Summer of Arcade, the week Summer of Arcade that we had this year. That stood out and everyone was excited about. It
Yeah.
was the last one. It looked fantastic. It had been in development for years and
Yeah.
years and years. You know, after winning Dream Build Play and stuff like that, and it was just looked so impressive. And then when we got it, no, didn't care.
Yeah, it's quite a shallow game.
Just didn't like it. Didn't really like it at all. Didn't like the sort of furries in it, and yeah, it just didn't. It didn't capture me in any way, and I really expected it to.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. I mean, it looked like it should have a lot more depth to it than it actually
Yeah.
had. At the end of the day, it was. I just
It
felt
was an
shallow.
enormous letdown for me. It was just sort of that was not what I was expecting at all.
I mean, there was elements that I liked about it graphically.
Sure.
It looked super smooth.
It's not a
and stuff.
bad game. It's not a bad game. It's just not. It's
Yeah.
not.
Just didn't live up to
Yeah.
what you had in your mind.
Not
certainly.
at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I can concede with that.
What about you, Joe? What do you think?
Well, I don't have much of a choice, do I?
No, well
No.
you can. No, that's
No.
all
Win
right.
me
Just-
over. Win me over.
Yeah, I never played Dust, so
Why didn't you play Dust?
because
Well,
it didn't interest me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dust, most disappointing game of 2012. And Elysian Tale. Next up, then, we're talking about the lifespan of a game. DLC, we're never going to get away from it, right?
Best DLC.
What was the best piece of DLC that came out this year? You know, what was it? What support was the best for a game? Joe?
I'm gonna have to go back with Battlefield and Close Quarters.
Okay, yeah, you've already explained that for your best multiplayer experience with
it's just
Battlefield.
yeah,
Yeah, just because it turned things on its head.
yeah, just completely changed the way that Battlefield played, and it was awesome for that. And I played so much of it because of that.
You paid for the thing, didn't you? You paid for the...
I have premium membership, yeah.
Yeah, okay, and that's been worth it?
It has, yeah. All the map packs. Well, Armored Kill wasn't that great, but the rest of it, yeah, it's worth paying for.
All right, Sean, what about you?
I did warn you that it was coming again, but it's Minecraft Create Mode DLC.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have an argument.
Yeah, it's not really.
We're gonna have
It's
an
not
argument.
really DLC, is it? It's
No.
more of an update for
This
it.
is like what we've had before, isn't it? It's an
It's not. You didn't download it separately, did you? It was
The
just.
argument was before whether
Did you have an option
whether
not
there was
to?
patches.
Did you
or
have an
not.
option not to?
No, probably not.
See, so it's not
Yeah.
really downloadable.
I
is
just
it?
play Minecraft offline all the time.
All right. Well, mine's maybe not as obvious as well. So let's just put that out there. So mine is Spartan Ops for Halo 4. You know, because technically that is downloadable
Yeah.
content.
Is it? No,
Is
it's on
it?
the
Free.
disc.
No, no, it's not all on the disc.
It's on the second disc.
It's not. No, it's not all on the. It's
Oh,
not
is it
all
not?
on any of the discs.
You sure it's just not unlocked?
But do you
No,
download
no.
time?
So it's not all on there. The videos you're streaming off the
Right.
web, and the videos alone I would count as good downloadable content, to be honest. But you stream those off the web, and the episodes, yes, at the moment are on the disc. They're on the disc, but they're still delivered weekly in a downloadable fashion. Without the internet, you're not going to get them, right?
Right.
That for me is by far the best piece of DLC in terms of new stuff. You know, it's awesome new content's coming every week.
I think Joe's gonna win this because this is
No.
the only thing that you actually download.
Yeah, because technically you don't download it, do you? You go into an option and
You're
download
fucking-
it.
No,
Yeah, it's the
you
same
do
with
download-
Sean though.
You don't download it off the marketplace.
You can't give me shit about create mode and then go.
No,
Well,
no,
you don't
oh,
get it if you're
well,
offline.
hang on. Okay,
Well, you
so
don't
hang
get
on.
create mode if you're offline.
Create mode though is a mandatory patch update.
Right.
Right? They don't. It's not even. It's not DLC at all. Right? Spartan Ops is
At
additional.
least
content.
I'm downloading my choice. You're not even downloading yours.
Okay.
Until you download it, it's not really downloadable content, is it?
No, well, don't get specific on the things. It's coming to you from online. It's delivered separately, right? That's what we're talking about by DLC. Yeah, okay, you're not downloading physically, holding it on a hard drive, but streaming it still counts, right? That still counts for an external delivery to the platform afterwards. Spartan Ops, yes, you're right. The first 5 were on the disc and unlock that, but you couldn't access them. So they're still coming in a weekly fashion, sort of episodically. And like I say, the videos aren't on there. But there's also more to that. I just think that as an idea is fucking brilliant. That has
Okay.
worked well. More than an update adding a feature
Yeah.
that should have been in there at the beginning. And yeah, like Joe, it's just maps, man, for Battlefield. You know, like, yeah, okay, fine. Maybe we've all stretched the rules a little bit for this one. Your game came out last year. Mine's technically not necessarily downloadable, and Sean's is an update. But out of those 3 things, the one that I would like to see do the most and continue the most in the industry is Spartan Ops.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let your loose base sort of like when you can download it, I'll accept it.
All right. Well, we don't know. I think the second half of Spartan Ops, episodes 6 to 10,
10.
I think they are downloads.
Okay, when it starts
Alright.
downloading, I'll accept
Which
it.
come out next year.
All right. So yeah, argumentatively, Spartan Ops is downloadable content of the year. That's fine. What's next?
Best game for girls.
Okay, the best game for girls. Joe, you know girls, they're a lot like us, only they're softer and they smell better. But yeah, girls aren't really that good at games. Analog sticks confuse them, don't they? Don't they?
Careful,
Don't they?
careful.
Come on, who's not listening to this and thinking, yeah, that is actually. It's always the analog sticks that fucks them up. Like they just don't know how that works. I don't know why it is, but that's fine. But girls are good at other stuff, so that's great. What's your best game this year, Joe? If you had to recommend a game to a girl, you know, or maybe you had a girlfriend. I know, but just you had a girlfriend and you're thinking, yeah, do you want to play this? What game would it be?
I went with Just Dance 4.
Just Dance 4.
Yes.
Okay, because you're thinking girls like Lady Gaga and dancing.
Yeah, and it's like the
It's the
game.
most sexist choice you could have had. You know, you're being really quite mean about it. It's like stereotype.
Yeah, but it's the one that I know that most of them play.
Yeah, with their leg warmers on.
I'm not saying they dress up to play it. I'm just saying I know that it's one of the best selling games to.
All right, yeah, Just Dance 4. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and it's a good game. You know,
Yeah.
they're successful. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking Just Dance, but Lego seems to get played a lot in my house. So Danny's this year was Lego Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
She was on it.
I can understand that as well.
kind of
And
3 days
again,
solid.
kids games, right? Simple, yeah. Keeping it simple, you know.
I don't think that's fair. I think
I know.
Lego are quite universal appeal to them.
Yeah, because they're simple. Well, my choice there for this category then for best game for a girl was Are You Smarter Than a Cheerleader? Because, that's just got girls in it. That's like girls versus girls.
Right.
Do you know more than a cheerleader? Maybe. I mean, you don't want to be around if they get it wrong, because then they're not smarter than a cheerleader.
Again,
Awkward.
I've only showed this to one girl, which
Yeah.
was my girlfriend, and
She was massively offended by it.
she found all of your jokes about they're all dead now, and it doesn't matter very amusing.
Yeah, I like the way you blame it on me. They're not just my jokes. I believe they were more like our jokes, but that's fine. Okay. Obviously, Smarter Than Cheerleader's not gonna win this. I think the Lego Games is a good choice.
Yeah.
I think a lot of girls would like that. I think Just Dance, as well.
Just Dance gets a lot of play in my house.
Yeah. And these are kind of interchangeable. We've had Best Kids already, and Best Kids Game and Best Girls Game. They're often similar. I don't mean that in a bad way, but both Just Dance and Lego would be good games for those. But then, hell of a lot of girls out there just love Resident Evil. Just one of those
and
things.
Call of Duty.
Just
and
one of those
Halo.
things. It's cool. I'm gonna go with Lego on this actually, just because I know about the sheer amount of time that your girlfriend Sean spent on Lego Lord of the Rings
And all the others.
and all the others. Yeah. So
A Lego game was like one of my first choices as well.
But I would go maybe with one of the more sort of sensible Lego games. One of them maybe like Lego Lord of the Rings. I think is a good one.
Yeah,
and probably
Harry Potter
and Harry
Danny
Potter's.
put in a
Yeah.
lot of time.
So, all right. So Lego Lord of the Rings then best game for girls, 2012. Okay, then next up,
Indie Game of the Year.
it's time to look at the indie games with our best indie game of 2012. This is kind of an important one because there's a lot of indie games that come out, and there's a lot of dreadful ones that come out, right? And we're not just talking about Xbox Live indie games here. We're talking about PC stuff and anything else like that. So that's fine. But there has been some really good ones this year. We'll see if anyone's going to mention them. Joe, what was your best indie game of 2012?
I'm going to go with City Tuesday.
City Tuesday, the Xbox Live indie game. It was in the Uprising, wasn't it?
It was, yes. It was part of the Uprising.
Really? This is your best indie game?
It's the one that I seem to have played the most of, though.
Okay.
I enjoyed it the most out of the ones I played, and I'm not sure why. It's very simple. It's not amazing.
It works well.
Yeah.
No, I didn't play City Tuesday that much
Yeah.
because I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. It was another good contender for disappointment, I think. It looked really cool, the concept's cool, but actually the execution of it I thought was a bit missing something, it was a bit lackluster.
I felt that the second half of the game, the game is split into two halves, and the second half was a lot stronger than the first half.
Right, okay, so I didn't see the second half.
Yeah, if it had more of the second half, if it had kind of like 3 or 4 levels built in the same style where you can go off the side of the screen and all of that puzzle, it's got like 5 screens, which is one puzzle that you're trying to solve. If it had a few more levels of that, then it might have been in there for me. But my choice would be FTL.
FTL, bloody good game.
Yeah.
Bloody good game. We've already spoken about it. Yep, on PC. Yeah.
And it was a tough choice. Hotline Miami was in there as well.
Yeah, that's true. Another stellar game. For me, again, though, it's another one of those games. It's hidden in plain sight. Just for being so simple, so basic, so staggeringly awesome.
It's good, but it's kind of like it does it stand up on its own. It relies on the merits of your mates.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. I know you always have this sort of like weird apprehension towards this game, Sean, because you're like, well, I'm never going to. You haven't bought it because you're like, no one comes round. You need to be in a situation where you've got people in your house and you're going to play it, right? But it's just not the same type of game. You're not going to put as much in it, but it's like a board game in that respect. You're always going to come back to it. Hidden in plain sight is fantastic.
I'm sticking to my guns.
I love the idea. I mean, FTL's good.
It is
It
very
is,
good.
It's just like all eyes are on me now. What do I choose?
It's not. What was your choice, Joe?
Mine was City Tuesday.
City Tuesday. It's not City Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's not City Tuesday. No way.
A strong enough contender. On
FTL is a very good game. Hidden in Plain Sight is a very good game. I don't want to sway anyone. FTL is technically a beta. I'm just saying. Hidden in Plain Sight, it's out there. It's 80 points. Hidden in Plain Sight, though, it's on PC now, so you can play it on PC.
Sure.
FTL is PC only. No.
I think I might have to go Hidden in Plain Sight. Sorry, Sean.
Really? But you loved FTL.
I did love FTL, but Hidden in Plain Sight, 80 Microsoft points. I know it relies on people coming round, but it is just epic for an indie game.
I mean,
It's
is
like
awesome.
it's like less than it's like £1.
I think you guys are possibly forgetting the epic moments when you jump out next to a sun because you've got no long range scanners.
How do you know FTL's not my game of the year?
Set things on fire.
You know, how do you know? FTL could go in game of the year, right? It's like
could
a
do,
proper
yeah.
game. But it's no. I mean, FTL was really, really, really good, but Hidden in Plain Sight just so good. Just
It is,
and
it
for
is.
such a simple concept and the things it makes us do and the fun we had are just is unrivaled. FTL I might not go back to, and it also made me hate myself a little bit
What's that?
because it was punishing.
It
You know,
is,
It was
it
really
is,
punishing.
yeah.
It was a cruel criminal game. You know. So. It's tricky because FTL's brilliant. I wouldn't be unhappy with either of these winning this category. You know, I think both of them deserve it. But it's Joe. It comes down to you as the swinging vote, man.
Yeah, like I said, I understand where you're both coming from, and I would go with Hidden in Plain Sight. I know it relies on people coming round and things like that, but for like 80 Microsoft points, it is just the only reason I didn't go for it was because it relied on people coming round. But
You two fucking socially inept fools. Get it now. It's brilliant.
it is amazing, yeah.
All right, are we agreed then? Hidden in Plain Sight, best indie game of 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, Sean. Sorry, FTL. Okay. Next up, then we're on to the big one.
Game of the year.
The best game of 2012. The one game that if you're a gamer, you should have. You should be playing. You know, and if you're not, well, then you better hope that someone's got a few for Christmas. You know, otherwise you need to check those Facebook friends and maybe remove a few, even your mum. Game of the year, Joe. What was your best game of this year?
I went with Spec Ops The Line.
Wow, Spec Ops The
Yeah,
Line. They'll be
I-
happy with that.
I put lots of stock
You know,
in that game.
Yeah, it's a good game.
It's one of those games that I suggest everyone that I know to play.
Yeah.
And everyone that plays it generally comes back and goes, yeah, that was amazing. It really was. And I just love it. Just like
It's like a good book.
Yeah,
It changes you.
yeah. It does. It actually changes the way you look at games. Once you've played it, you go back and you play Call of Duty and you're like, yeah, you really see the difference.
Okay. Well, sit on that. We'll think about it. Not really, but we'll think about it. Sean, what's your game of the year? Bear in mind, Joe's game of the year last year was Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
You know.
My game of the year wasn't Medal of Honor.
All right. Okay. It was. Sean, what's your game of the year for this year?
It's a controversial one, as the game itself was quite controversial. Mine is Mass Effect 3.
Mass Effect 3. Wow, that was not what I was expecting to come out of you. I was expecting
I
you to say
wasn't
Far Cry.
expecting
I'm
that,
sure
yeah.
you were.
You know, but Mass Effect 3. Okay, why?
Because it got a lot of flack for its ending, and people were down on it. But man, the journey was just fantastic. I was invested so heavily in that trilogy, and going through 3 was just amazing. And everyone you love is dying left, right, and centre. The closest I've ever come to crying in a video game.
Shocking. All right, that's
No,
that's
it
big- that's
is
big
it
news.
is epic, yeah.
But you were well invested. You were one of the few people that was really happy with Mass Effect 3, or you didn't. have a
Yeah, I
problem
mean,
with it.
I wasn't pissed off with the ending. I was
No.
like, it's what it is.
I absolutely loved Mass Effect up until the last sort of 10-15 minutes. And I didn't even hate the ending. It just wasn't the ending that I was hoping for.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
what it was.
All right. Well, mine's neither of those. Mine's Halo 4. You know,
Sure.
as game of the year, it's. I know it's going to last, and it's just technically brilliant. And I think that 343 had an incredibly difficult job in just stepping into Bungie's shoes,
Yeah.
and they nailed it. And I just think it's a staggeringly good game.
I don't think
So
it's-
much content in there.
I don't think there's many fans that are
You know?
upset.
No, exactly. I really don't think. I think it has brought new people in it. I think the changes they've made have been strong enough to actually take the game further on. And all the things I was worried about, because I was worried about so much, you know, the Call of Duty-fying of the game.
Sure.
You know? And they've nailed it. They've executed on that really well. And then when you combine that with the multiplayer side of things, Spartan Ops, and all the challenge stuff, and just the support coming for it, you know, further on, I'm blown away. You know, it's the first time, it's the only time, and admittedly, Joe, you were the one that got us it, but the season pass for the maps, you know, it's the only time I've ever owned a season
Yeah.
pass, you know, and it's just like, I just believe in it. I like, that's solid. It seems cliche, it's weird. Obviously, I'm a massive Halo fan. It was always going to be the case. It was tricky. It was this or The Walking Dead for me. and The Walking Dead got downloadable Game of
Yeah.
the Year. So Halo 4 for me has to be Game of the Year. It's astonishing. It is a game that screams money.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
it
it just
is.
screams money. It's like it is a rich game. It is, you need to treat it well.
It is amazing Halo, but I do believe it's going to win. Like,
It's definitely
lose this
better
round.
than Spec Ops. Halo 4 is
Oh
definitely
yeah,
better
yeah.
than
Spec Ops had no chance. I just wanted to get it in there.
Definitely better than Spec Ops.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 3, I'm not a Mass Effect fan at all. You know, it doesn't grasp me. But I'm not about to just throw away, you know, the last segment of a trilogy that everyone kind of loved, based on the fact that I wasn't part of it. Halo is a 4.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah,
I don't know. You like Halo?
I do. It is tough, and ultimately I'll spend more time playing Halo. It's just that I don't feel that Halo's single player campaign kind of lives up to Mass Effect's campaign, and as Mass Effect's multiplayer doesn't live up to Halo's multiplayer.
No, sure.
Both have got pros and cons, but emotionally I felt that Mass Effect was a far more evolved game than Halo's storytelling.
Well, I think as well. I think Halo 4 has done pretty well today as well. It's got 343 best developer and it's come up a lot. It's got a lot of mentions.
Yeah.
It's got best graphics. There's no denying that Halo 4 is a good game.
Certainly.
I don't. Oh man, I hate Mass Effect. You guys, I hate these games, right? And I'm just,
Yeah, I know.
I was just flashing forward in my head then to writing a tweet from the Things We Play account saying that Mass Effect 3 was Game of the Year, and my heart broke a little bit. My heart broke. But that's the only thing that's really making this painful. It's got to be, isn't it? I suppose. To be fair, I mean, Joe, you like Mass Effect. Help us out.
I absolutely love Mass
I mean, we
Effect.
can categorically say it's not Spec Ops 2.
Yeah.
Spec Ops 2 or Spec Ops The Line.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Mass Effect.
Yeah. All right, no, it's Mass Effect then.
Yeah.
Game of the Year, Mass Effect 3.
Sorry, Mike.
It's nuts.
Sorry, Halo.
It's nuts. Practically the same story.
It's not far. Right.
All right, then, with that in mind, then one last category, one sneaky category. Obviously, there's so many games that came out this year, and there really were, and it wasn't, as much as I don't think this year was maybe as good as previous years in terms of the quality of games we were getting, there were still some very, very good games that came out. And so we thought we'd just better tag something on the end for just to call out a game, really. It doesn't get anything for this, and no one does. But there are a few games that maybe you've missed. We've heard today that Spec Ops is maybe worth looking at, and if you really haven't looked at it and seen it, then do go and take a look, because it's a genuinely special game. Journey on the PS3 is another great game that hasn't had a mention.
Unsung Hero.
So this is our unsung hero for 2012, really. The game that maybe you should take a closer look at, or not write off if you have done. Joe, what's your game for this?
I'm going to go with XCOM.
XCOM. Yeah,
Yep.
good choice.
Yeah, I loved XCOM. I never played any of the originals. I always wanted to. It's just really hard to get hold of like a working PC copy of it.
Yeah, sure. They're
And,
very old now.
Yeah, and I just had great fun playing this game. It was hard, unforgiving, but I still loved it.
Yeah,
Still
well,
loved
and a
it.
different game. You don't see
Yeah.
a lot of them. You haven't seen a lot of stuff like that.
No.
And yeah, I know a lot of people definitely loved it. You
Yeah.
didn't get on with it so well, did you?
No, but at the same time, I did find it quite compelling. I kept coming back to
Yeah.
it, even though it pissed me off immensely. It's all right.
I'd hate to see games like that die out.
Yeah,
for
certainly.
that reason alone, I would, go and take a look at it.
Yeah.
XCOM is kind of, I don't think it's an easy game to sell.
No, it is. It is hard. It really is.
It's strange because I do love technical, the kind of turn-based technical combat. I used to love the old front mission games and stuff like that as
Yeah,
well,
sure.
and the ones that Square used to knock out. So yeah, it's hard that I didn't get on with this one.
It did all right, I think. I think it did
Yeah,
all right.
it did
I don't
actually
know.
do really quite well.
Like, I do worry. I do wonder a little bit of like how unsung is it?
Yeah.
A lot of people on Twitter were like, "It's my game of the year."
Yeah,
at
sure,
the
and I'm
time.
sure it'll get some game of the years. It's a good game, so yeah, definitely people should look at it. All right, Sean, what's your choice for this?
My choice is Fez.
Fez, okay.
Just because I haven't selected it for any other categories, and it's a beautiful little game. Everyone should at least check it out. It's got some interesting mechanics to it, and once you get kind of quite deep into the lore, you find that it's mental. It's got its like own little language and stuff that you need to use to decipher puzzles, and QRs are in there, and I like the little hunting around for secrets. My only real criticism is the map system is insanely hard to kind of understand.
There is an awful lot to Fez. It's kind of crazy. And it had people sort of buzzing over the internet for a long while after,
Sure.
just trying to figure stuff out and crack codes and things. And that's quite cool. I didn't really play Fez. Phil Fish, man, he's a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
You know? But apart from that, yeah, Fez is a good one. I mean, for this, I've come up with FTL. That's where FTL fit for me.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
It's a good game. I think people should look at it. I don't think people would look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think Fez looks like a platformer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so people might go, I know a platformer, I'll give that a go.
And it's got kind of cutesy
Yeah.
lead characters.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think XCOM can look more exciting than it actually is, and that might draw people in. But I think FTL it has a look that a lot of people wouldn't even go for.
Sure.
And it's damn good. That's I mean, all these games are really good, you know.
Yeah.
I needed to get FTL somewhere in the list, and I didn't know where it fit. And it's technically a beta, so it's still got work going on it. But it's damn good. If you've not played it, you should check it out.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
It's only on PC. It's not, it's a little bit more hidden. All three of these deserve the mention.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe we'll just leave it at that. Maybe we'll just leave it at that. I won't pick one for the unsung hero. We'll have 3 unsung heroes, and these are 3 games that you should check out. You know, FTL, brilliant game. Fez, a great game. Whatever it was that Joe chose, probably really good as well. You know, XCOM, it's a good game.
Yeah.
So just go and check those out. You know, if you've missed them or you've skipped over them for whatever reason, maybe just go and readjust. Because the reason we've chose them is that there's more to them than you think. It's not just that you go, well, I don't like games like that, and so for you haven't chosen them. What we're saying is there's maybe more to it than that. You know, and if you give it a go, you might like it.
And now's the kind of the perfect time. You know, there's Jackal out. I know everyone's buying Christmas presents and money's tight, but 2 of these games are relatively cheap, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just XCOM.
Yeah, and that might drop. Who knows?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of sales.
It's Christmas, yeah.
It
Start of
has been in and
times.
out of civil sales that I've seen.
And
So.
January's coming up anyway
Yeah.
for more sales.
So it's been a good year.
Yeah,
it's been an alright
It's
year.
been a relatively strong year. Considering coming into kind of October, November, I was like, I ain't playing shit this year. I've got nothing to play. But no, there's been a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of stuff coming at the tail end, so no Wii U stuff in our list or anything there. But some of that's looking alright. Be interesting to see how that does go forwards as we go on. Obviously, there's nothing really coming out now for the next sort of few weeks. It's drips and drabs, but there's not really much as we run into Christmas. But we'll still be here. We'll be doing a special Christmas episode next episode for things we played. Then we will take one break. We will take 1 week off because we are not putting an episode out on Christmas Day. We're going to be eating turkey.
I'm not.
Why?
I'll eat chicken.
You don't have turkey at Christmas?
Pork. No, turkey's dry, man.
Yeah, but it's still what you have at Christmas, right?
No.
That's why turkey's only ever eaten
You
at
can't
Christmas.
just change it. You can't just change it. Like someone brings you a birthday cake and you're like, I don't have birthday cakes, I have hamburgers. It's like, well, no, you have birthday cakes.
But no one's bringing me a turkey. Who's turning up? Who's the turkey delivery man?
I don't know.
I brought you turkey. Cheers.
So you're not having turkey?
I'll have roast lamb or pork or something. No,
You don't
not
know, do
turkey,
you?
Chicken.
All right. Well, the point is we won't be putting an episode out on Christmas Day, but we'll be back the week after, so do not fret. But we'll have an extra special episode next week for our Christmas episode. If you want to get in contact with us, you got problems with our Game of the Year list, it'll be up on the site so you can check it out. Do post your comments if you disagree or agree or anything like that. But you can always email us at thingsweplay@gmail.com, or you can tweet us on Twitter at thingsweplay. We will see you in 7 days' time for a bumper Christmas episode of Things We Play. This has been the Games of the Year.
Goodbye.
Take it easy.